Hey everyone, we're continuing our study in the Proverbs and we're looking at the idea of self-control today. So why is self-control important and why is it a problem for us? Teams seem to go hand in hand. Why is it important? Why is it a problem? And we see the importance in Proverbs 16:32. It's interesting. Better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. It's better to be the patient person who can master themselves than a warrior who can control an army and conquer a whole entire city. I think it's trying to say that it's harder to master yourself. It's harder to be in control of your desires and your actions personally than it is to try to control other people outside of yourself. And I think we see that often in our culture. Celebrities are great they're great at controlling a set. They're great at controlling, politicians are great at controlling or governing or directing and instituting legislation, but their lives are like shipwrecks, they're disasters, there's total dysfunctionality. But the Bible says self-control is important. It's better to have self-control, to have patience over yourself, than to be someone who has prestige and power and can do all those things, yet personally has no self-control. And so it makes us ask, where is there a lack of self-control in our lives that has brought trouble? Which goes into the next idea that self-control is a problem for us. Even if we have a lot of things going right, if we lack self-control in one area, it can bring us to ruin. And we see that in Proverbs 25:28. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. You don't need walls in ancient times. They protect the city. You have the city gates, and you close the city gates, you lock those up, and you set people along the perimeter of the wall to shoot arrows, to fight those trying to come in. If you ever watch Lord of the Rings, or really any movie that has battles in ancient times, do they try to conquer the whole entire wall? They usually realize, there's a weak point. Let's just try to focus on that weak point, because if we go in and get through that weak point, we can infiltrate everything and bring it down totally. And that's what this proverb is saying. Without a wall, you need a wall. You need self-control in general. But often we're content with saying, I'm really in control of these areas of my life. I'm not so good over here, but I'm really good over here. But this is saying a person who lacks self-control in maybe just one area is defenseless. If you can't control your appetite for food, this is Tim Keller, you're going to ruin your body. If you can't control your tongue or temper, you will say things that can't be unsaid or taken back. Same with lustful desires. Those can ruin relationships. Not thinking things out will lead to rash decisions that can bring about ruin. If you can't say no to people, you'll overpromise, and you'll be exhausted or overextended, or have life filled with disillusioned people and broken relationships. He's saying a city doesn't have to be completely without a wall in order to be overthrown. If there's one area that is broken through, if there's one point that the enemy gets in, there's problems. There's destruction that's going to happen. And so the question we can ask ourselves is, okay, where are those little weak points in our self-control that the enemy, that Satan can use to infiltrate and try to bring us down? Where are those areas in life we need to fortify our self-control? And we can pray that the Lord would help us see those areas, take an honest survey of our life and say, okay, Lord, where are you challenging me to grow and fortify self-control in my life? So I think we should pray for that, ask for that, and Lord, give us self-control, especially in times where we're going stir crazy and we can say, rash things, say hurtful things. Lord, where can you show us our need to control our tongues, to control our minds, our thoughts, our attitudes? Self-control is important. It's hard to do. It's easier to control others than ourselves. So Lord, help us to find self-control.